So real estate is kind of an interesting industry, an interesting topic, and it's a very popular, if you will, a very common, if you will, sort of investment vehicle. So, when you think about ways for people to have an interest in investments and leveraging resources and stuff like that to try to build a net worth, and then real estate is a pretty common one. Um, and then all of us have, unless we're homeless, I guess, but basically all of us have an experience where we're currently interacting with real estate on a regular basis, right? So either we own some real estate, or we're buying real estate, or we're renting, in which case it's still real estate, but we're just hoping to pay for someone else's real estate, basically. And so basically, real estate is a market or an industry that we're all in, and it's just how we're involved in it that's the question. And it's probably the largest purchase that most people make is our real estate transactions. And I don't know whether or not, I guess I'm not enough of a guru to know whether or not they're the most impactful one that they make or not in terms of their overall financial health. Does how smartly you make financial decisions around real estate, is that the biggest driver in where you end up financially or not? I don't know. I would say it's probably, for most people, one of the largest single items of expense on their month-to-month budget, and so, or month-to-month expenses. And so it does make sense that it might be one of the biggest areas where either they're building or essentially losing on net worth. Now, maybe not losing in the strict sense of the word, as in maybe it going down, but if you're renting, yeah, it could be, you could be losing net worth through that. Even if you're buying, though, you could be purchasing, let's say, a lot more house than you need, and therefore your contribution to your net worth over time is potentially a lot more diminished than it would be if you had a lesser property. Now, on the other hand, maybe that larger property, maybe it appreciates more. I don't know what all the economics of it are. It's something we've been thinking about because we'd like to move closer to our church and Farmers Branch, and but we're fairly comfortable in terms of our current home and where we're at here in Cleburne, and so for us to make that move, we're weighing different factors, and it's like, well, what is the what are we willing, generally properties up there are more expensive, and so it's like, well, are we willing to make the financial commitment needed to, do we have the ability to make the financial commitment to live in a nice property up there? Are we willing to sacrifice on some of the niceties in order to have, something more financially easy? So it's just different questions like that we're kind of working through or thinking about. And, even if, let's say, I double my income and it feels like we have plenty of money, right? There's still the question of like, well, is that, the question of efficiency. It's like, what's, what level of theoretical like financial inefficiency am I willing to assume, especially with higher interest rates and all of that, in order to for convenience and for my family and where we live and the people that we hang out with. So anyway, I don't know that there's necessarily, I'm not sure what all where we'll land on everything. I do think we will move up there. Whether we will wait longer and buy something more posh, whether we will go sooner and maybe get something a little more frugal, if you will, I'm not sure. But anyway, I do believe that God has something good for us, and we will see when and how that comes to pass.